The investigation into the death of a state police trainee is intensifying now. 5 Investigates has been digging into the culture at the State Police Academy and uncovering some new details about the impact that may be having. Our Mike Bodette spoke with a former recruit who describes his experience there as, quote, hell. And Mike joins us now.
Ben, the current state police recruit class started with 284 people back in April. 99 of them have dropped out, and that's not unusual. 450 trainees have quit since 2020, including the recruit who we spoke with, who would only talk if we protected his identity. He says he's worried about backlash since he's still hoping to pursue a career in law enforcement, but he believes something needs to change at the academy. A search for answers after the death of 25-year-old Enrique Delgado Garcia. The trainee died following a boxing exercise at the Massachusetts State Police Academy in New Braintree. Delgado Garcia's friend telling News Center 5 last month how Delgado Garcia had characterized his experience there.
Physically and mentally, that's what he described it as, physically and mentally torturous.
A description backed up by another former trainee from a different class. He told 5 Investigates it's just morning, noon, and night of pure hell and torture. I get the discipline, I get the whole aspect, but not hazing, not making somebody feel like a piece of scum. You're not just weeding out the weak people, you're weeding out the good people. Concerns about what happens at the State Police Academy are not new. In 2021, 2 troopers were disciplined after trainees at the State Police Academy slid through a watered-down hallway similar to a child's slip and slide. The following year, State Police removed 2 more troopers from the academy after nearly 24 trainees were injured after being forced to do bear crawls across hot pavement. There's now a new State Police colonel from outside the organization who will lead an internal investigation, and an independent investigation is already underway. The trainee who spoke to us says he's frustrated government leaders are only now taking concerns about the academy more seriously. For all of us that have left before and we've witnessed the things that go on there, it had to come to this point for a recruit to die, for now everybody to kind of rally. I hate to say it, but I don't think anything is going to change. It's a tradition thing. It's just the way it is. In a statement, a state police spokesperson tells us our training and instructional approach emphasizes the values of discipline, teamwork, and respect for one another in accordance with the law. We do not tolerate any form of hazing or misconduct, and we thoroughly investigate any allegation of such behavior. The trainees in Delgado Garcia's class are set to graduate on Wednesday. If you've had an experience at the State Police Academy, we want to hear from you. As we dig deeper into this issue, you can call our tip line at 781-433-4018 or email us at 5investigates@wcvb.com.